Think about the last time you had to remember something, a name, a fact, a number, an argument you were building. And instead of trying to retrieve it, your first instinct was to pick up your phone. Not because you have a bad memory, because it just felt easier. That feeling is not convenience. That is your hippocampus beginning to atrophy. And you are doing it to yourself. Every day, every time you outsource a thought to AI. I am not here to tell you to stop using AI. Most people watching this use it. I use it. But there is a biological cost that nobody is explaining clearly. And until you understand it, you cannot manage it. Because what is happening to your brain right now is not a metaphor. It is measurable and structural. And it is the same thing that happened to London taxi drivers when GPS arrived. In 2000, a neuroscientist named Eleanor Maguires at University College London published a study that changed how we understand the brain's ability to adapt. She scanned the brains of London taxi drivers. These were people who had spent years memorizing 25,000 streets before they could qualify to drive, a process called the knowledge. What she found was remarkable. The posterior hippocampus, the region responsible for spatial memory and navigation, was measurably larger in taxi drivers than in non-drivers. The more years they had been driving, the larger it was. The brain had literally grown in response to the mental demand placed on it. Then GPS arrived. A follow-up study tracked new taxi drivers who began relying on navigation apps. Their posterior hippocampus did not develop the same structural growth. The demand had been removed, and without the demand, the adaptation never happened. Your hippocampus is not a fixed structure. It is a use it or lose it system. It grows under cognitive demand. It shrinks under cognitive outsourcing. And AI is the most efficient cognitive outsourcing tool ever created. And here is the part most people have not heard. The GPS study was about navigation, but navigation is just one thing your hippocampus does. The same outsourcing mechanism, handing cognitive work to a tool instead of doing it yourself, operates identically when you use AI for memory, reasoning, and original thought. Different tool, same biology, same structural consequence. There are three specific mechanisms at work, not vague concerns about technology. Actual biological processes that are measurable and named. Mechanism 1, retrieval failure. In 1972, psychologists Fergus Craik and Robert Lockhart published the depth of processing principle, one of the most replicated findings in memory science. It showed that the effort your brain puts into retrieving information directly determines how strongly that information is encoded for the future. When you try to remember something, really try, search your memory, work for it. That effortful retrieval strengthens the neural pathway. The next time you need that information, access is faster and more reliable. The memory becomes more stable and more connected to other things you know. When you ask AI instead, that retrieval process never happens. The pathway is never activated. The memory trace weakens from disuse. Over time, your ability to retrieve that type of information deteriorates. Not because the memory is gone, but because the retrieval mechanism has weakened. You are not using AI because your memory is bad. Your memory is getting worse because you are using AI. Mechanism 2, the offloading effect. A 2011 study by Betsy Sparrows at Columbia University, published in Science magazine, directly tested what happens to memory when people know they can retrieve information from a computer later. Participants were significantly worse at remembering information they had been told would be saved. But they were significantly better at remembering where to find it. Sparrows called this the Google effect. Your brain makes a rational trade. It stops encoding the information and starts encoding the location of the information instead. Which sounds efficient until the location is an AI that generates slightly different answers every time, and the original understanding never forms inside your head at all. Mechanism 3, thinking atrophy. In 2025, a research group at MIT's Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Laboratory published findings from a study monitoring brain activity of frequent AI users during problem-solving tasks. When participants used AI to assist with complex thinking, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for reasoning, planning, and original thought, showed significantly reduced activation compared to participants solving the same problems independently. This is the pattern. AI takes the cognitive effort. Your prefrontal cortex disengages. Without regular activation, the neural pathways supporting original reasoning become less efficient. Your thinking muscle weakens the same way a physical muscle weakens when it stops being used. You know that feeling when you are mid-sentence and the word you need just does not come. A word you have used 100 times. You reach for it, it is not there. And something that used to be automatic suddenly feels like effort. That is not age. That is not stress. That is a retrieval pathway that has been bypassed enough times that it stopped being maintained. And you felt the gap for the first time. Quick honest question before the fixes. In the last 48 hours, how many times did you 1. Ask AI something you probably could have worked out yourself. 2. Read an AI answer and immediately felt like you knew it, without checking if you actually understood it. 3. Used AI to write something that you then sent without fully processing it yourself. 4. Noticed you reach for your phone faster than you used to when you hit any friction thinking. Drop your number in the comments. I want to know which one is most common. When calculators arrived, people worried about mental arithmetic, a narrow skill, useful but limited. When GPS arrived, people lost spatial memory, again specific and narrow. What AI is affecting is not a specific skill, it is the general architecture of thinking itself. The ability to form original arguments, retrieve knowledge under pressure, tolerate the discomfort of not knowing something while your brain works to figure it out, and build the kind of deep understanding that holds up when you are challenged. These are not peripheral skills. They are the foundation of every high-stakes cognitive task you will ever face. A difficult negotiation, a creative problem with no obvious answer. A decision where the wrong call matters, and here is the specific danger. You are the first cohort to go through the formative years of professional development with AI as a constant cognitive companion. The neural architecture you are building right now is the architecture you will be working with for the rest of your career. What you build now is what you have later. Okay, stop. Before the fixes, there is one thing you need to understand. The goal is not to use AI less. The goal is to use AI without paying the cognitive cost most people are paying right now. The 3 protocols below do not require you to change your workflow. They require you to add 3 specific behaviors that keep the biological machinery running. Though that is the difference between a brain that compounds and a brain that atrophies. So here they are, 3 specific protocols, named, backed by the mechanisms above. Each one takes under 5 minutes a day. Fix 1, the retrieval first rule. Before you ask AI anything you could theoretically know or reason through yourself, spend 60 seconds trying to retrieve or work it out first. Set a timer. 60 seconds is not long. You are not doing this to find the right answer. You are doing it to activate the retrieval pathway. The act of searching your memory, even unsuccessfully, strengthens the encoding of related knowledge and keeps the retrieval mechanism trained. After 60 seconds, use AI freely. But those 60 seconds are not negotiable. That is the training stimulus. That is the difference between a pathway that gets maintained and one that gets pruned. Fix 2, the no AI thinking block. Every day, protect 1 cognitive session of 25 minutes minimum where AI is not available. Not turned off. Not available. Phone in another room. No browser open, no tools. Use this block for your hardest thinking task of the day. A problem you are genuinely uncertain about, an argument you are forming, a decision with real complexity. The discomfort you feel in that block, the pull to check something or outsource something. That discomfort is the training signal. That is your prefrontal cortex being asked to work without a crutch. Sit with it. That is where the architecture gets built. Fix 3. The explanation test. Every time AI gives you an answer you are going to use, before you use it, explain it back in your own words. Out loud if possible, in writing if not. This is not about fact-checking the AI. It is about forcing your brain to process the information at depth. Craik and Lockhart's research is direct on this point. Shallow processing produces weak encoding. The explanation test forces deep processing. It converts AI output into actual knowledge rather than borrowed knowledge you cannot reconstruct under pressure. If you cannot explain it, you do not know it. And in the moments that matter, the meeting, the negotiation, the problem that has no obvious answer, borrowed knowledge breaks down. Here is the thing nobody tells you about these 3 fixes. They are not just protective, they are generative. The retrieval practice research from Henry Roediger at Washington University shows that regular effortful retrieval does not just maintain memory. It actively strengthens encoding beyond its original baseline. You are not just protecting what you have, you are building something better. A brain trained through resistance does not just recover to where it was, it exceeds it. You are not storing knowledge. You are storing shortcuts to someone else's knowledge. And shortcuts break down the moment the path gets hard. AI is not going away. You are not going to stop using it. Neither am I. But the people who perform at the highest level over the next decade are not the people who used AI the most. They are the people who used AI strategically while protecting the cognitive architecture that makes original thinking possible. Your brain is not declining because you are getting older. It is declining because you stopped asking it to work. Start asking it to work again, 60 seconds at a time, 25 minutes a day, one explanation at a time. Save this video. You will want the 3 fixes when you need them. And if someone you know has started relying on AI for everything, and you have noticed the difference in how they think, send this to them. They probably have not noticed it themselves yet. If you are not here to stay average, subscribe.